Hey guys, it's Nox. Today I'm bringing you a quick summary of the Season 5 Campfire chat. Starting off, we get another PTR for Season 5. It starts Tuesday, June 25th, and will run for 1 week. I'll be testing, and I'm very excited to, but first, listen to this.
Else, isn't that sound, that echoey sound? I love it.
Sounds like a, I don't know, it sounds like you're murdering a bunch of like church organs or something like that.
That beautiful clip is what Mythic Uniques will look and sound like when they drop in Season 5. The main content to look forward to and Blizz wants us to test in the PTR is called Infernal Hordes. They showed us a little bit of footage, and I'll play that in the background here, but it's essentially waves of enemies coming at you for 90 seconds. Think kind of like a shrine or something from a Nightmare dungeon, but expanded and like kind of turned up to 11. It also has roguelike elements. After each wave, you choose between 3 altars that sort of give you a kiss and a curse. One gives you an upside, the other gives you a downside. So this example here is one, having hellfire rain down, but it gives you more of this resource called Aether. Killing enemies also gives you this resource called Burning Aether, and at the end, you spend it on 4 available chests. There's a chest that gives legendaries or uniques. There's a chest that gives crafting materials. There's another one for gold. And then there's another one that has loot that has a guaranteed greater affix. We'll kind of see the tuning there. I'm not really sure if it'll ever be worth it to take some of these over the others, but we'll see. In terms of difficulty mention, there are 8 tiers of the Infernal Hordes, and they go up to 10 waves at tier 8. Tier 8 was mentioned to have a monster level of like 160 to 200 is what the developer said. He said like within that range. So that's very interesting, very challenging content, I would say. Probably not quite as hard as pushing the endgame pit though. You'll get keys to doing this by doing normal activities like endgame bosses, Helltides, Nightmare Dungeons, and Whispers. So everything you already do anyway. And there'll be a currency found in the world able to upgrade them to the higher tiers. One of the cool things about this is the boss at the end, the Fell Council. So for those of you who remember Diablo 2, the Fell Council were those demon priest mini bosses that were at the Travancore before you went and fought Mephisto in Act 3. There's going to be 5 different bosses, each with sort of like their own elemental like focus. But when you do the Infernal Hordes, you'll only fight 3 of the 5. So you'll basically be fighting a different combination every single time, giving a little bit more replayability, similar to the roguelike element that I mentioned prior. I really like what they're doing here, and I can't wait to try it. They also did some class balancing. I won't get into any specifics here, but basically most legendary nodes that are found in the Paragon boards have a cap now. This is a nerf to most builds that are the super high end, but won't affect you unless you're really min-maxed. It seems like what they're trying to do with all of these is like reduce the ceiling for a lot of these higher end builds. Like I know barbs are really hurting because of this, but again, it's only those builds that were at the really, really tip top that are really going to feel this change. As you're gearing up, you're not going to notice this nearly as much. They opened up what weapons classes can use. So that's very interesting. Sorks can use swords now, and maces, finally. Necros can use all maces and axes, and druids can use daggers and polearms, I believe. They also updated base effects on each weapon. I'll have the chart listed right here. There's not too much to note here, except for the offhands will not have cooldown reduction anymore. This is just the base affix that's found in gear. So, offhands have cooldown reduction, daggers have damage to close, etc. Some of the quality of life stuff that the community has been asking for has made it into Season 5. We can finally reset bosses without leaving the dungeon. So you'll kill a boss, then the altar will respawn. You can kill the boss again. So it's much quicker to convert your materials if you're trying to go for Duriel or Andariel. And also, if you're chain farming Tormented Duriel with your friends, it's just much easier to just do those rotations faster. Beast in the Ice does not have as long of a run this time around, and you don't have to craft a sigil in order to spawn him. He's in his own dungeon with his own altar, similar to the rest of the bosses. There's a quality of life for Helltide and Whispers. Blizzard has said, quote, they have significantly reduced the time it takes to complete Whisper bounties. We've now made it so there are always enough Whispers to earn at least 10 Grim favors within a given Helltide and should take significantly less time to complete. Basically what they're trying to do here is make it so like it only takes you 15 minutes to get a full set of Whispers done when you're in a given Helltide. So if you're blasting the pit, new Helltide spawns, you spend 15 minutes, you go and get some Helltide done to get those Whispers done to get more gold. This is just easier access to gold, which I think is good. I know a lot of people are hurting for gold right now, so this is a positive change. So here's some quick rapid fire highlights for each class. As again, this is not a full patch notes reading, but here we go. Barbs, they got a new unique that makes Steelgrass reset the cooldown of Iron Maelstrom, which sounds super awesome. Kratos Barb is sick, and I can't wait to play it. They have also, this was in a bug fix, didn't hardly mention this, but Whirlwind now scales with attack speed again. So that's going to be insane. We'll see how that goes. Druids, several of their skills were buffed by 80% or more. Pulverize buffed by 80% again. Tornado buffed by roughly 80%. Things like that. So Druid's looking like it's doing very well. They also have some damage reduction stuff on their affixes that help them become more tanky, which is good. There's also a lot more companion support, and maybe that'll be a viable build for Druids. For Necro, minions are more aggressive and can overpower now. I'm really excited what they mean with minions are more aggressive. Like I've noticed playing my minion Necro in Season 4, sometimes my minions just kind of stand there even if I am cursing stuff. So if they're going to seek out enemies and become death machines, that's going to make that build feel even better than it does now. Also, Golem jumps when you use the active ability, so it, crashes through the walls like the Kool-Aid Man. Oh yeah! They also buffed a lot of the non-minion options like Bone Spear, Bone Spirit, and some of the blood skills. It'll be interesting to see how that all plays out as far as balancing and number tuning goes. Rogue got massive flurry buffs. They fixed the victimized double dipping bug, and there's some big buffs to uniques, specifically Wind Force synergizing directly with Barrage, so that'll be an interesting build to try out as well. And finally for Sork. Sork got many nerfs to defensive skills. Ice Armor no longer generates more barrier while you're doing damage, and Flame Shield's cooldown starts when its duration expires, so no more infinite invulnerability for Sork. But they got a new Chain Lightning unique, which goes on pants, which is pretty cool. It looks really strong, and it'll be interesting to play with, so we will see how that all works out. I encourage you all to check out the PTR and test all these changes and give Blizzard feedback. I think this is the good way for the community to help the developers continue the trend of making Diablo 4 a better and better game with every season. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Thank you very much to my Twitch subscribers for supporting me. Link to that is in the description below. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the PTR.